Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? BC here. We're here with another podcast, and I wanted to first and foremost give a shout out to Team BC, who is one of the sponsors for this podcast. Team BC is nationwide now. We're growing quickly. If you guys are interested in learning more about my real estate team, go to jointeambc.com if you're interested in joining. If you have any real estate needs yourself or know anybody that does, you can reach out to me personally on any social media platform or email us at teambc@gmail.com. Also, shout out to Modern Success, my crew. If you're looking for more help and assistance from me, more personal attention, coaching, mentorship, all that fun stuff, and you want to plug into a really awesome community, I recommend you join Modern Success. You can go to my website, briancasella.com. It's there, or you can click the link in my bio, my Linktree bio in and on Instagram. All right. So let's begin. One thing I wanted to talk about today, I think that's very important, and it's basic, and I'm going to show it to you at different levels. Okay. And it's two words: pay attention. Okay. I want you to stop for a second and ask yourself in the last 24 hours in this day, depending on where you're at, right? On West Coast still right now, we're about to hit 7 p.m. If you're East Coast right now, 10 p.m. And I want you to check with yourself real quick and say, in the last today, 24 hours, can you sit there and say you've actually really been paying attention besides a couple times? Most of the time, people mindlessly scroll through their phones. We mindlessly do tasks. We mindlessly work out. We mindlessly eat. Everything has become mindless, and we're not paying attention. Look at that. Pay attention. You're paying something. Pay attention. What are you paying? Attention units and focus and energy. That's what you're paying for, the attention to look at something. This has become so out of reach for people. Two words that everybody knows. A little kid knows what pay attention means, but how many of us actually pay attention? This is one of the main reasons I've been able to excel at nearly everything I do, is because of this, paying attention. I paid attention to communication more than other people, which is why I wiped the floor with the majority of the population in regards to that subject. How about my studies? I pay attention a lot when I study, which is why I can pick up concepts that are in books and lectures and coaching programs and all this other stuff that probably thousands and millions of people have gone through as well. Yet they're still in the same position, and I've been able to excel with it. What is it? I'm not special. One of many things I've done is pay attention. When's the last time you maybe got in a car accident or had some sort of harm inflicted on you because you weren't paying attention? How many of you got an idea or an insight about something at some point for a video, to call somebody back or do something? You had a great idea for an invention or a task that you needed to do, and in the moment you didn't stop and write it down. What happened? You're floating. Then later on, when you want to recall that insight or memory, it's gone. So when I look at this, as simple as the subject is, and as most people would coin it basic, it's really not, because this is a simple, we can say, dynamic of life or thing that we're supposed to be able to do. Yet so many people find it difficult to actually genuinely pay attention. Why do you think the majority of the population has a struggle communicating? Because they don't pay attention. They're having a conversation with somebody and they're thinking about, what am I going to eat for lunch? Or, man, why didn't I say that one line at the meeting 3 days ago? They're either in the future or in the past. They're not in the present moment. Because if we break it down, that's what paying attention is. You're here right now. I know a lot of people who come listen to my podcast that don't pay attention because they argue with each other on my Instagram live. That's really, at the basic level, that's what it is. You're here now. And every time I say now, it becomes the past. But you're here. Think about the last time that you actually were in tune and really paying attention. For those of you who follow me who are salespeople, when you were going door to door, making calls, or doing some sort of task where you're reaching out and talking to prospects live. And you were sharp, man. When you were paying attention, I guarantee you were sharp, or at least sharper than you normally are. Maybe you got a little bit better results. Maybe more things happened. Maybe you made a sale. Maybe you set up a meeting. Great. I applaud you. But that is a muscle that needs to be developed. And the cool thing is, it's extremely potent on the task side, but even in just your daily life dealing with other things. Let me parallel this with some similar things that you deal with in day-to-day life, where paying attention is a remedy. Let's look at a very popular subject that people bring up to me all the time, and that even I deal with, which is criticism, judgment, hate, haters, right? And all that stuff. And let's take that for an example real quick. Paying attention, right? You get a hater comment, blah, 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 blah. You ask them a question, someone else comments, and now a thread starts with the person talking trash about you or to you, or even in person, right? You can substitute any of those scenarios in this case. Now, follow me when I say pay attention. As you talk, when I read stuff online and people comment and other people comment and we go back and forth, very quickly just paying attention and really understanding what they're writing and looking at it, taking the emotion out and just paying attention to what's being written by the person. Very quickly, I can see clearly where it's coming from, where it's directed, and how really what they're saying makes no sense, or the position of it is very weak if you look at the logic behind it, and you can just fucking pick it apart, man. And all I need to do is really look at it and pay attention to it and put my bullshit to the side. This employs thinking in this case. This is a little bit of a higher level, we can say, because most people are, we can say, capped out with bodily primal functions. They run on emotion, the majority of people. This employs a little bit of your intellect. Is it super high level? No, but it requires you to be able to put your animalistic side and emotional side to the side and say, okay, I'm going to analyze something. I'm really going to sit here and pay attention and focus. I know it's going to require some energy, especially in the beginning when I'm not tuned into doing this frequently. And it might be difficult, just like as an example, if you've never read before, or you only read in school like I did back in the day, now you're listening to me and other people telling you to pick up a book and read, you may find it difficult in the beginning to read and retain the information and not daydream and do it at a decent rate. Why? Because you're not used to it. You're not used to putting your focus and attention, quieting your mind, and reading for 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours. If that is a new thing to you, an uncharted territory, of course it's going to be difficult. But really, that's all it is focus and paying attention. You pay attention to the book that you're reading and the words that you're reading, and you want to minimize or eliminate distractions. That's this. So being able to do that will now facilitate your education to help you grow. Because when I read, I'm not distracted. Sometimes, sure, but the majority of the time, I'm not, which is why I can read quickly, retain information, and apply it. You know, some of these books that have been recommended to people over the years, millions of people are reading those books. Millions. We should have a populace full of people who are super effective, successful, have control over their emotions, intellectually sound, can communicate, and all this other stuff. Yet we don't. And one of those errors is this. So I give you some very easy day-to-day stuff, right? We talked about haters. How about finances and paying attention? For people who mindlessly spend money, they dig themselves into a hole that they can't get themselves out of in regards to credit debt, right? People that ignore their bank account. What is that? They're not paying attention. Look at the people who in business, like real estate, aren't looking at schedule, business plan, tasks that need to do, level of priority for said task, and all that stuff. All that is paying attention and saying, okay, I'm building a business. I need a business plan. I need to put this thing together. And I need to pay attention to each and every step. And then every day, employ and do every single step. It's that simple. I will watch two people dialogue. Let's step into the communication world. The only reason I'm able to figure out the right line or be comfortable and poised, throwing the scripts out the window for a second and just, going back and forth with somebody in a role play or an example or live on the phone and coming up with something, is I'm just paying attention to the person who's in front of me. That's it. It's not like I have a vault and computer screen in front of me feeding me lines. All I'm doing is just paying attention to the person in front of me, but at another level. The more you do this, the more refined this ability becomes. It's cool. It's almost like working out, right? If you keep working out every day, your muscle definition is going to come up. You're going to feel better. You're going to look better. You will improve over time. This is the same thing. But the majority of the populace doesn't even understand a baseline level of paying attention, what that's like, what it feels like, and how relaxed you are. For me to pay attention now, I could be on my phone listening to you talk and pick up on everything. Now, do I recommend people do that? No, because it took me years of really focusing when I'm listening to somebody to retain every little bit of information. Now I can be talking to a dude sales, right? And selling him and setting an appointment while I'm having a chat with somebody else in person. Not a problem. I've done that before. Am I recommending you do that right now? Absolutely not. But eventually you can get to that point. Am I saying to do it? No. But you have to understand where you're starting, where you can go, what's possible. Now, a lot of people will try to dilute the subject and say something such as, well, you're being serious too much and you need to let loose and have fun. And they throw all this crap at subjects like this to try to dilute it or to make justifications and excuses. And I never understood that. Right? I just think it's like a subtle attack on the efficiency of a human being and they don't want them to reach their potential. So they mask a bunch of sayings and peer pressure and a bunch of crap that stops people from being efficient. Right? Like something I said in my coaching today. How about when somebody calls you a nobody? Right? People take that to heart. But look at the word. Break it down. No body. When people tell you to work on your mind, what are they telling you to go? Beyond the body and the mind. You hear that a lot. So if they say no body, is that really a diss? No, it's not. So when people tell me that, if they were to say you're a nobody, I would say, thank you, dude. Thank you for noticing that. I appreciate it because you're absolutely right. And they'll look at me like, what? Because that's normally an insult to people. You see? And that's very basic, but nobody looks at it that way. Nobody looks at it that way. But all I did was pay attention and I figured it out very quickly. Sorry, I'm in a temporary new environment for the next 2 or 3 weeks before I finalize my move. And my cats are going crazy in the background. Anyways, let's continue. Paying attention. So, what I recommend moving forward for you, what are you doing every day to catch this and hone this skill? Are you somebody who can be at your office making calls and not be distracted by your computer and emails and all this other stuff? Or do you need the blank desk with only the one screen and your phone, right? Because I mean, I was at that point before, sure, where any little thing would distract me or I would use it as an excuse. And really all it was my lack of ability to focus and pay attention. Because man, when you really start paying attention, you see and experience a completely different world. The next time I invite you guys, if you're driving right now listening to this, or the next time you get in the car, start paying attention to the environment. Yeah, be safe, of course. But look around, look up into the sky and to the left and to the right, and pay attention to the scenery. And I guarantee you're going to notice a ton of stuff that you've never noticed. How about at your office or even in your current environment? Look at every corner and look at every area of your room. How about paying attention to any kind of sense, good or bad, that you can pick up in this environment, in your office environment, in your car, and really start using this tool? How about when you meet people, start to pay attention not just to certain things. We'll look at certain features of them. How about what they're wearing, their sense of style? How about how they carry themselves and their body language? How about accessories that they're using? How about little details they give you about themselves, right? And by the way, this is a formula also for sales. Being able to pick up on things that other people can't pick up on. How? Paying attention and putting more attention on paying attention. That's it. Now, this can actually become a habit for you and something that you put into practice. This isn't some theory. If I was to ask you to close your eyes right now and what you were looking at, whether it's out, through your windshield, just for a second, right? In your room, how many colors are present in your room right now that you can think of off the top of your head? Or if I pointed out certain objects that have been in your peripheral vision for the last 30 seconds or a minute, can you tell me what color they are with confidence? Or are you still going to be kind of, that shows you the level of, how much we've drowned out the majority of stuff. Now, our mind is going to do that naturally because it wants to push as much as it can into the subconscious. So, because your conscious mind can only handle so much. But I want to increase that. I want to be able to pay so good attention all the time that, man, I can have a level of experience of life that other people can't. Now, is that maybe scientifically possible? I don't know, but I want to push for it. Why? Because it's going to make me more efficient and better in everything I do. I'll be more fulfilled. I'll be happier. I'll experience the world differently. I'll have better conversations with people. I'll have better relationships. My finances will be better. My health and fitness will be better. I mean, what else do you want? Imagine if you paid attention to every single morsel that went in your mouth, every liquid that you put into your body, or lack thereof. and really paid attention to what you were consuming, what you need to consume, and the guidelines for proper nutrition for a human being? How about budgeting for money? How about the proper tasks and things that you need to do down to the final minute detail every single day to build your business versus just mindlessly going along and not paying attention to specifics? How about putting that timeline of what you need to get to the next level in whatever it is that's in front of you right now? Maybe some of you listening to me need to pass the real estate exam. Cool. I'm in the process right now of getting my license for the new state that I'm going to move to. I just started it today, actually. And I'll be moved in probably within the next month to where I'm moving. And I plan on having that done so I can take the state test and get licensed ASAP. And I'm paying attention while I do it. I'm going to get that shit done quick. And just like I passed the one here in California, I passed it the first time. I'll do the same thing in the new state that I go to. I'm already calling it now. And I passed it easily because I paid attention in class, when I studied, when I did the practice exams. I mean, it's just rinse and repeat at this point. But we always will push back. When you look at the world around you, no one's paying attention. If you look at your day and I tell you, map out your day for me, tell me what you did. Maybe not every minute, but every 15 to 20 minutes or every half an hour, tell me what you were doing. For most people, that would be a very difficult exercise to describe details of what they were doing. Like details. Where were you sitting? What position? What time was it when you started? What time was it when you ended? Imagine if somebody did that as an exercise for you every day, and you could have an accountability partner, go back and forth with each other, right? And say, hey, and do this as an exercise. That way you guys can use your recall and make sure that you pay attention more often to refine this tool, because this really unlocks a lot. This may sound like not a big deal to people, but this is one of those things that you need to really hone. This is probably one of the sharpest tools in my tool belt, for sure. But I work on this on a daily basis because I know how important it is and how much it separates you. Many of you come to me, how can I separate myself in life and conversations and business? This is one of those ways, because I pick up on stuff. Somebody will say something when I meet them, offhand comment, and I'll bring it up 6 months later. They're like, wow, you remember that? Yes, because I was paying attention. Absolutely, I remembered that. And I'll remind them of it too. And I'll bring it up in conversation. It's because I'm there. I'm not in the future in my mind or in the past thinking about stuff. I am there. I am present and paying attention and focused. Now, for many of you, this will be difficult, and it was super difficult for me in the beginning to really, really work on this, but this has to be priority. Believe me, you will squeeze every drop of juice out of all the activities that you're doing, whether they're mental, they're physical. This is an incredible, I don't even want to say it's a superpower because it's not. It can seem that way because the average person is so detached from this. But man, it will change the game for you, especially right now if you're, regardless, top, middle, bottom, beginner, intermediate, advanced, but especially if you're a beginner or you're looking at turning something around. This is one of those things that lights a fire in your progress and improvement and ability to change quickly. Is this. This is one of those things I employed right away when I said, okay, I'm really going to change my life. I'm going to change. I'm going to detach from my personality. I'm going to recreate myself. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I really started paying attention to the people around me, my environment, what I was doing, what I was supposed to be doing that I wasn't, what I was doing that I needed to stop, and all those other things. And very quickly, change started fast and rapid and intensely. So in the beginning, this may be uncomfortable for you. It may just be. But believe me, it's worth it. So get a partner if you can with this. It would make it super cool because you can do the exercise I mentioned earlier. But really, it's about making these small things and small changes. Paying attention. When you wake up in the morning, which side of the bed do you get out of? How do you normally sleep? What's the first thing you do when you wake up right away? What's the first thought that you had this morning? What are the first, 3 things you do in your home in the morning? Where were you at today at noon? Again, I'm testing you right now. You don't have to write it here, but think. Those are just a few questions to test where your mind is at in regards to this focus. It's really cool, right? So with that said, I'll end it here, guys. Again, these are just little thoughts and random things I've always been doing on the podcast for a long time. The subject matter to me is very sacred, very important, and as little and insignificant as this can seem, this can change people's lives. And I really hope that many of you employ this and really start to pay attention, because man, you will be able to spot so much. And I only gave you the surface right here. I could talk about this subject forever, and maybe I'll continue it on Wednesday a little bit and dive into different subjects so you get a different viewpoint on it. But it's really, really incredible. Okay, so that's it for this one. If you guys enjoyed it, I appreciate a review. You guys have been really awesome in all the support and reviews you've been giving me on iTunes and Spotify and all that stuff. So I really do appreciate it. This podcast is sponsored by two entities. Number one being Team BC, our real estate team. We're killing it. We're nationwide. If you guys are interested in learning more and possibly joining Team BC, go to jointeambc.com and check that out. Schedule a call with your regional manager if you're interested. If you guys do need anything or know anybody who needs anything real estate, we are in 12 states now and expanding quickly. You can reach out to me personally on social media, or you can email us at teambcsold@gmail. Lastly, if you guys are looking for more support and help for me, more coaching and that kind of stuff, I really recommend you join our community, Modern Success. It's thriving. It's booming. All our members are really, really good. I'm proud of all of them. Shout out to them. BrianCasella.com to check that out, or go to the link in my bio on Instagram and you can join there. All right, that's it for this one, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.